Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Ines. Ines is another variation of Agnes, mainly French, Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish. The French render the name as Ines, while in Spanish, the accent mark goes the opposite direction, Ines. The Portuguese write Ines, and the English, when used, render the name unaccented or spell it Inez. The name's original root, Agnes, is the Latinized form of the Greek name Hagni, Gamanu, derived from hagnos meaning chaste, pure. Enduring usage of Agnes/Ines is owed almost entirely to an early 4th century saint, one of the so-called virgin martyrs, Agnes of Rome. St. Agnes holds the distinction of being one of only 7 female saints, excluding the Virgin Mary, commemorated in the canon of the Holy Mass. The other 6 are Cecilia, Agatha, Lucy, Perpetua, Felicity, and Anastasia. Born to the Roman aristocracy, c. 291, Agnes was not only educated and wealthy, but she was also said to be quite beautiful and not without her share of many male admirers. However, the chaste Agnes, a girl of about 13, refused to marry anyone, as she had already given herself over to Christ as his bride. One of her rejected suitors angrily turned her into the Roman authorities, essentially outing her as a Christian, illegal in the then-pagan Roman Empire, and she was consequently sentenced to death. However, since it was against Roman law to execute a virgin, Agnes was dragged to a brothel in an attempt to deflower her. According to legend, the Holy Spirit interceded and all sorts of miraculous circumstances prevented her rape. She grew hair all over her body, the men were struck blind before they could attack her, and so forth. As with many early saints, a cult grew up around Agnes/Ines in the Middle Ages, and so the name spread throughout Christian Europe, a particular favorite among royalty and noble women. Adding further dimension to this age-old name is the fact that Agnes is the Latin word for lamb, so you often see St. Agnes depicted with a lamb by her side or in her arms. Ines remains a highly popular name in France, and Ines is extremely common in Spain. This cosmopolitan cool name is also used with a fair amount of regularity in Belgium, Catalonia, and Sweden. Personality of the girl name Ines. The number 2 personality in numerology is all about cooperation and balance. It's the number of diplomats and mediators. They are not leaders, but strive rather for harmony in partnerships. These are the peacemakers. Equality and fairness are important in their dealings, and they are willing to share power and responsibility to achieve a harmonious outcome. This personality is calm and patient, waiting for things to evolve instead of pushing aggressively for an outcome. They are good-natured and easygoing, and care deeply on an emotional and spiritual plane. 2s appreciate beauty and nature and are intent on making the world a better place. Popularity of the girl name Ines. Inez has always been the preferred spelling of Ines in the United States. However, today, neither one of these names is on America's top 1,000 list nor given to even 100 baby girls per year. Similarly, Agnes is no longer on the charts. Still, we feel that Ines is a cosmopolitan name since it continues to be used with much enthusiasm throughout Europe, as well as Latin America. It's a simple name with a pretty pronunciation and far less harsh than Old Agnes. The etymology is probably a little too old-fashioned by today's standards, but Ines/Agnes will always be a favorite among devout Roman Catholics. Quick facts on Ines. Gender, girl. Origin, French. Number of syllables, 2. Ranking popularity, not applicable. Pronunciation, E and Es. Simple meaning, chaste, pure. Characteristics of Ines. Nurturing, kind, balanced, sensitive, gracious, patient, considerate, cooperative, compassionate, loving. Cultural references to the baby name Ines. Famous people named Ines. Ina copyright S. Sastre, Spanish model/actress, Ina copyright S. Melcher, Peruvian long-distance runner, Ines de Castro, Galician noblewoman, wife of King Peter I of Portugal, Ina copyright Escuro Cataguay, Argentinian tennis player, Ines Montero, Portuguese athlete.